Good evening, everybody. Welcome aboard the Millennium of Peace. We are going to be heading to the Tower of London, but first of all, we're going over to the London Eye for a quick stop. We don't stay very long here, so if anyone's looking to leave at the London Eye, please gather your things and make your way downstairs towards the back. For those that joined us at Westminster, welcome aboard, and the sun has come out for our trip, which is lovely. On the boat, for your comfort, we've got a fully licensed bar. There are toilets at the back of the lower deck. You are more than welcome on the top deck, but we do ask that you try and stay seated. When we leave the London Eye, I'll be back on the microphone. I'll do a proper safety briefing with you, but in the meantime, just sit back, enjoy the views. I'll speak to you again very soon. Michael Jackson, Amy Winehouse, Frank Sinatra, to name just a few. I actually went there at Christmas with my 3-year-old daughter to see Bluey and Friends, which is a bit different, isn't it? But equally as good, I would say. Anyway, the South Bank's a nice place to go. Arts and cultural hub for the city, and it's always got a good atmosphere. Now in front of you is Waterloo Bridge, and it's the second bridge to stand on this site. The previous bridge, which was actually called the Strand Bridge, was renamed after the Battle of Waterloo. But the previous bridge was crumbling down, and reconstruction for this bridge started in 1939. But with the outbreak of the Second World War, a lot of the men constructing this bridge were sent off to fight. So the bridge was completed by the ladies of London. An almost entirely female workforce built Waterloo Bridge. Good fact for you is it remains the only bridge in London to have been built on time and under budget. So well done the ladies bridge, Waterloo. Two very different buildings for you as we go through. So on the right hand side, the building with the electronic advertisement board is our National Theatre. Which often gets voted the ugliest building on the river for obvious reasons. It looks more like a car park. Whereas on your left hand side you've got a palace, the building with the green dome, Somerset House, was actually built on the river. The River Thames used to be a lot wider than you see it today. Just a bit about the river itself then. The total length of the Thames is 215 miles. And second longest river in the United Kingdom actually, but 90 miles of the river is tidal, and where we are in central London is part of that tidal section. Very large tide range here. We can see a rise and fall in the water level of about 7.5 metres. Now at the moment the water level's rising, we're on a flood tide, so the tide's coming in from the North Sea. When we get to high water, the tide will turn again, and then we get about 7 hours of an ebb tide. You can see the high water mark quite clearly actually. If you look at the walls, look at the top of the walls, you'll see a sort of dark greenish line, and that is your high water mark. Have a look to your left, there's a ship there called the HQS Wellington. If you look at the back of the boat, the stern, there's an archway on the wall. It's called Temple Arch. It's the boundary marker between the city of Westminster that we're leaving now and the City of London we're entering. Now the City of London is 1 square mile in size, it's all on your left, and it's got a population of about 10,000. It's one of the smallest cities in the United Kingdom. When you're thinking of London, you're actually thinking of Greater London. That comprises of 32 boroughs, the city itself, and a population very close to 10 million people. Big difference. Now the city is home to the financial district, which you can see from here. The tall buildings ahead of us, slightly to the left, that's the financial district. Now we like to give our buildings nicknames, and some of them over there include the gherkin, the scalpel, the cheese grater, the can of ham, and the walkie-talkie. I've got another tall building with a nickname for you on the right hand side. That tall glass building with the curve to it, its official name is number 1 Blackfriars, but its nickname is the Kim Kardashian building. Yeah, don't blame me. That's something to do with the taxi drivers. They come up with those ones. Now we've got 2 bridges in front front of us. They're called the Blackfriars Bridges. I'll tell you a bit more about them as we get a bit closer, but firstly I'm just going to talk a bit more about the tides actually. Now, we always navigate on the starboard side of a channel, that's the right-hand side. So we're on the right-hand side of the river, and that means the captain's lining us up for the correct arch for this bridge. However, at high water later on, we wouldn't fit under this archway. We've got loads of room now, so it might be quite hard to imagine, but with the rise of the tide, we do struggle to get under this archway when it's high water. Now, if you look at the pillars on this bridge, they were designed to look like church pulpits. It's because there used to be a monastery on the north bank to your left. Also, if you look at these pillars, you'll see some engravings of some birds. This side of the bridge, seabird, freshwater birds. The other side of the bridge, they have saltwater birds or seabirds. And that's because when they built the bridge, they believed this is where fresh and salt water stop mixing. These red columns you see are the foundations of the original railway bridge, but we're about to go under today's railway bridge. It's actually a train station. Blackfriars Station is on this bridge. Now the station above you was designed and constructed to accommodate more people coming to London for the Olympics in 2012. The only problem is they completed construction in 2013. They completely missed the Olympics, which is a terrible job. Have a look to your right and you've got the Old Bankside Power Station, which today is the world famous Tate Modern Museum of Modern Art. If you look on the side of the building, you'll see it says it's free to enter, and if you've ever seen modern art, you know why. On your left hand side we can see the dome to St Paul's Cathedral, looking lovely in the sunshine over there. The building that stands there today was opened to the public in 1711. Having been reconstructed after the Great Fire of London of 1666. You get a great view actually. When we go under the Millennium Footbridge, look to your left. They built this bridge bang in line with St Paul's Cathedral. If there's any Harry Potter fans on board, you'd recognise this bridge. Yeah, it's used in the Harry Potter movies, of course. Well, if you look to your left as well, you'll see City of London School. Well, that is Hogwarts, folks, because it's where Daniel Radcliffe went to school. Now, I am going to change it, though, from Harry Potter to William Shakespeare, which is a little bit different, isn't it? On the right-hand side, we have a white building with a thatched roof. That is William Shakespeare's Globe Theatre on the right side. If you're looking for a show whilst you're in London, see if they've got anything on at the Globe. They quite often sell tickets there for as little as £5. I think to see a live performance in London that is very, very good. So it is worth checking out the Globe Theatre on your right. Now on the right hand side, this is the London Borough of Southwark, and we're approaching Southwark Bridge. So this is actually the least used bridge in the whole of London. It's the quietest bridge because it's really hard to find. Lots of one-way streets lead to it. It's really confusing trying to find this bridge. So if you see anybody walking across this one, give them a wave, guys. They're probably lost. The original bridge here was actually completed in 1813, and it was built to alleviate congestion on London Bridge. Now there's a lovely pub on the right side. You see this building? It's got lights outside, red windows, anchor on the right. It's one of the oldest pubs on the river. It's been there for over 400 years. It's famously where Samuel Pepys chronicled the Great Fire of London from in 1666. It's also where you'll find me and the captain this evening after work for research. For these commentaries, of course. Someone's got to do it. This is Cannon Street Bridge, another railway bridge for you. Now, London was actually the busiest port in the world for over 300 years, the centre of shipping. At the height of trade, warehouses lined the banks for up to 10 miles. Nice examples on your right here, Winchester Wharf, Horsham, Pinkford's Wharf. And actually, if you look next to Pinkford's Wharf on the right, there's a dry dock with a pirate ship in it. Sir Francis Drake's Golden Hind, one of 2 replicas on the right side. First Englishman to circumnavigate the world, Sir Francis Drake. Now this is a really famous bridge. This is the bridge that keeps falling down. London Bridge. Right, now several bridges have stood here. The Romans built a bridge here 2,000 years ago. Probably the most famous London bridge is the medieval bridge. And it was built in the 12th century. It spanned the river here for over 600 years. It was considered a wonder of the world at the time. If you're interested, on the left, as you come out of the bridge, have a look to your left. There's 2 buildings next to each other on the left-hand side with a gap between them, directly on our left. That gap is where the old London Bridge crossed the river. You can see the monument to the Great Fire of London in the gap, but you can also see a church. It's called St Magnus the Martyr. And if you go into the church, they've got a scale replica model of the old London Bridge. They've also actually got some of the wooden foundations of the Roman bridge as well. Worth going in. There, you're a bit closer to the financial district on your left, the tall buildings. And also on your left-hand side, we've got a white building on the riverfront, behind the trees there. Waterguard House. Now, if you look on the roof in the middle of it, it's got 6 black chimneys. Now, anything illegally bought into the United Kingdom, we're talking drugs, alcohol, tobacco, for example, they take it to the building on your left, they will store it in the basement for around a year, and then they incinerate it, hence the black chimneys on the roof. But I've never seen any smoke coming out of those chimneys, not enough. We hear they have excellent Christmas pies though, I wonder why. On your right now, you're going to have to look really hard to see this one because it is camouflaged. But if you look hard enough, there's a warship over here. HMS Belfast on the right side. She was built in the very same shipyard as the Titanic. She was built in the 1930s and saw action in the Second World War. Today, she's an absolutely brilliant museum. Now, our stop is on your left. Tower Millennium Piers on your left-hand side. But we're going to go a bit beyond. We're going to go and get you right up to Tower Bridge to give you a great view of the bridge in front of us. Whilst you're looking on the left though, the Tower of London is on your left-hand side. UNESCO World Heritage Site with nearly 1,000 years of history. A lot of passengers ask me which tower is the Bloody Tower, the famous Bloody Tower. You can't see the Bloody Tower because it's behind those bloody trees. But you can see the oldest part, the tallest bit in the middle there with the 4 turrets. The White Tower dates back to the 1070s. Now, looking at the bridge, the money shot's to get a red bus in the middle of the bridge. Look at that. That's a good bit of timing, isn't it? I'll tell you what, that is 3 of London's most iconic views in front of you. Tower Bridge, a London bus, and traffic. Now we're going to turn the boat in a minute, guys. When we're side onto the river, there is a really good chance the boat's going to rock about a bit. So just a reminder, we do ask that you try and stay seated as best you can. Now this bridge is actually unique. It is a twin steel suspension and bascule bridge. Bascule's a French word which means counterbalance. The centre part there rises in the middle. That allows taller ships into the city. The only day of the year the bridge won't open, or definitely won't open, is the day of the London Marathon, which is later this month. Last year we had 56,000 people run across this bridge. Apparently that was a world record. I personally think a little gap might make the marathon more interesting. A little bit of a long jump. The towers on the bridge completed in 1894. They were built in the neo-Gothic style. I was under the orders of Queen Victoria, and that was so the bridge could be in keeping with the much older Tower of London. So just a reminder, we're going to turn the boat here, folks. So please be very careful, especially if you're standing up. Running a right big risk there, guys. Yeah. There's another way to see the bridge, actually. If you look at the walkways, have a look right at the top there. So you can go right across the top of the bridge. But if you look in the middle, you'll see it's got a glass floor. So if you're going to do that, have a very good head for eyes. I personally think this is the best way to see Tower Bridge. I've got a little story for you as well, actually. Okay, so I'm going to take you back to December 1952. A very foggy day, this December day, and a bus driver called Albert Gunter was driving south across the bridge. That's left to right as you look at it. And when Albert got to the middle of the bridge, through the fog, he noticed it was beginning to open, and there was about a 3-foot gap. Now, at this point, what most people would do is hit the brakes, but Albert didn't do that. He accelerated his bus and he jumped Tower Bridge. That is a true story, the day the bus driver jumped Tower Bridge. Now, apparently, he was the only person to get injured. He broke his leg. He was given a medal for his bravery. He was also given a £10 bonus, which, of course, most of that he had to spend on a clean pair of pants. And that is a true story, the day the bus driver jumped Tower Bridge. I think if you did it today, well, you'd get the sack and you would probably end up in prison somewhere. Talking of prisons, Tower of London on your left there is one of the most famous prisons in all of history. The big gate on the left-hand side is the Traitors' Gate. If you've been found guilty of treason 500-600 years ago, sentenced to death, they'd have taken you through those gates and you'd have spent your last night on earth in the tower. The next day they'd have taken you to Tower Hill, and in front of a crowd of thousands of people, they'd have moved your head from your body. They'd have placed it in boiling tar. They'd put your head on a spike and displayed it on London Bridge. Record number of traitors' heads on London Bridge, 33. That's a really good fact, isn't it? But look, we don't do that sort of thing here anymore. We believe in rehabilitation these days. What they get now is 3 square meals, a PlayStation, and an early release as well. So it's a really different punishment these days.
Here? No, I'll give it to you. Sick.
There you go, some more lovely views of the Tower of London. Now, we're very shortly going to make our way towards Tower Pier. The next return boat is just coming up through Tower Bridge. Anyone with bus tickets, the bus stops at the other side of the Tower of London. So we're going to swing around again and just ensure you've got all of your belongings with you, folks. Please do check that you haven't left anything on the boats. Have a good look around where you're sitting. We'll get all sorts on these boats.